From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
Hey, welcome to Rick's Show on the Radio. Thursday, November 13th. Got a couple of really great guests today, but we're going to listen to a little bit of Queen Dementia. All right, here we go. And I'm welcoming my guests, Frank Ruffalo.
How you doing, Rick?
How you
Nice
doing,
to be
sir?
here.
By the way, we are like transmedia here, okay? So everybody say hello to everybody out there.
Hey.
All right. Also, Andrew Colton, friend of mine, a director. He's here to talk about his latest projects as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Right into the mic, my friend.
Right here.
Okay, there you go. But let's talk to Frank first. Frank, you are an accomplished author, and you and I have met at this meeting of actors and filmmakers called the Florida Hampton Table. I'd love to talk about that organization every time I'm on the radio because I met a lot of great people through there. Yep.
Yeah, I got me and Jody and Rose. I got joined through Rose Warner. She's a wonderful lady. And met Rick, and
Yep.
I got my books going, and one of them's going to be at MIPCOM, so I'm happy.
Let's talk about that. So, Frank, when you decided to be an author, how did that come about anyway?
It's just weird. I just woke up one morning. I was in the private industry in purchasing. I woke up one morning and I said, I got a great idea for a movie. I started writing.
So it was a movie, huh?
It was a movie, right? And I started writing. I got me a composition book, and I just started writing. Started writing. I said, "Oh, this is getting serious. I better get a computer, get on my computer," and I started writing an action love story about baby boomers and terrorist attacks in the United States, and
that turned into which book?
And that turned into the Trihedral of Chaos.
Right, Trihedral of Chaos. I'm holding that in my hand right here. Everybody can see that, right? Yeah. That was your first book then, huh?
That was the first book I started writing. The first book that was published is Gabriel's Chalice, which came about in the middle of writing the other one. So I was basically writing two books at the same time.
Yeah, I guess that happens sometimes, right? I mean, Andrew, when you're working on a movie or something and you're in the middle of it, you're usually thinking of the next thing and doing a little bit of something during that, right?
Oh,
Make sense?
There's always a million ideas floating around.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I'm currently writing I'm actively writing two books and researching another two and editing another one. So, and I've got a new one coming out in January, which is a murder mystery. So I've got like 6 books I'm in the middle of right now.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about this first one, Trihedral of Chaos, without giving away the whole story and all that. But
it's a baby boomer love story. He's a widower. He was a Vietnam vet. He retired to South Florida. He, on a perchance, meets a baby boomer actress in her ebb of her career, and they start up a relationship, and he gets drawn into international terrorism and attacks on the United States, and it's a struggle between his love of his family and his new wife, his wife-to-be, and the love of country. So
it's autobiographical then, right?
Yeah, autobiographical, yeah. Your lips to God's ears.
Well... Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that I notice has a lot of South Florida references. Is that correct?
Right. I've been living in South Florida now over 30 years. My other book it doesn't really take place in South Florida. This one, my murder mystery, takes place in South Florida. This book starts in South Florida. The first terror incident comes in through Port Everglades. So I'm not going to tell you what that's all about, but there's a big incident in Port Everglades. But my murder mystery is about Jack Stenhouse, who's a player. He's a player, homicide detective in Fort Lauderdale. His pension, he's been married 3 or 4 times and divorced 3 or 4 times because he can't. His main vice is strippers and hookers. So his current girlfriend is a stripper, and he gets thrust into finding how beautiful women are dying and South Florida from the bite of a black mamba, which is a snake only found in Africa.
Wow. So, how did you? Where does this stories come from? Do you have like a kind of a theme going on through your books?
No, the stories
no?
come from the voices in my head.
Okay. No, like experience or anything like that. I mean,
No, it just constantly. I've got constantly. I know what you call them. My friends inside my head telling me stuff. So
yeah,
it's
God.
Could be.
Could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a theme for a couple of these things that are more political, kind of faith-based, sci-fi.
Sci-fi is
sorta?
faith-based. Basically, it deals with the pre-Judgment Day, pre-end times. How that comes about is if you look at the New Testament, Luke 21:11 in the New Testament is basically when Jesus is telling his disciples what's going to happen before he returns again. And that, to paraphrase that section, it says there's going to be earthquakes and plagues in various places. There's going to be terrors in the sky and great signs. So I said, "Oh, how would that actually play out? How would God actually do that?" So I developed a story where volcanoes are going to start erupting, and it's the erupting volcanoes are going to block the sun, and there's going to be all kinds of consequences from that. And the two main characters are involved. One is involved with the CDC. He's got to stop the plagues that are erupting, and the other one works for NASA. And it's in 2028, so there's a moon base on the moon, and he goes up there. He was sent up there to investigate some geological survey, and there's an earthquake or a moonquake.
Moonquake.
And a cave opens up in a mountain range on the moon, and it's Archangel Gabriel who leaves a crystal chalice in this cave and leaves a message for mankind, which foretelling what's going to happen. And you follow my main character. His name is Raphael Mateo. Peter's his son, and he has to bring the chalice back to Earth. And you're following his quest, his trek from Earth to the Vatican with the chalice. And you're also following the Dr. Paul Simon, his quest for all the plagues. And the book ends up with Revelations 21:11. Which basically says right before the Judgment Day, Jerusalem is going to shine like a sparkling diamond, and a cross appears in the sky and shines down on Jerusalem and shines up the city. So,
well, that's interesting. Do you ever wonder about, the way that you depict your character, the Archangel? Was it more of a traditional view spiritual, or was it more like, well, maybe he is an actual alien, or really,
well, he's a being of light. I predicted him as I chose him as a being of light. So basically, he comes as a figure in light, and basically that's what angels are supposed to be, just beings of light. Some if you look at some of the alien conspiracies or theories out there, they say some of the aliens are beings of light. So,
well, yeah, it makes
take it for
sense
what
to
they
me.
were.
I think maybe it is that. Right?
Maybe it is that.
We don't know, so I don't know. I think the stories, scriptures and all that are written so that we might be able to understand, like, way back when into way in the future, and it's all kind of relevant. And you go, well, it sure seemed like really simplistic back then, but nowadays it makes sense because in reality, I don't know what's really going on, but something going on out there.
If you're really writing into the conspiracy type of things, if you look at some of the writings in the Mayan writings in the temples in Mexico, and some of the writings in Egypt in the pyramids in Egypt, they depict that other beings came down, especially the Mayan in Mexico and South America. They depict beings of light that came and helped them. So who's to say?
Who's to say? right? That's where we get a lot of our good science fiction and stories from, right?
Right.
How about you, Andrew? Do you like sci-fi at all? Or are you a sci-fi writer? Or
I actually love that kind of stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's funny you bring up the Mayans because I just recently got back from the lost city of Tulum, which was where the old ancient ruins are. I just went out there to film some of that stuff, and it definitely makes you wonder, for sure. It definitely makes you wonder.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder who the heck built all that and how the heck they built it
and how it's relevant to your story or you told me that you were a Catholic then, right?
Right.
So I was a Catholic too. I mean, I'm not really a strict Catholic anymore, but as far as adhering to biblical things and this is the way it is, you go back and you go, well, what about the Mayans and what about those people? Maybe that happened too. So maybe it's not like God being up there with a big beard and laying down the 10 Commandments. Maybe there's some theme going on here that
I delve into that in I delve into that in the book I'm writing, a sequel.
Okay.
I wrote a sequel to Gabriel's Chalice called Tres Archangelis, which is Latin for 3 archangels. And in there I based the premise that the archangels were sent here to protect Earth. And I get into more of God's creation of life, and God created all life in the universe. So
yeah,
if you want to look at that, He created alien life. So He made the life.
I'm with you there.
So it's
try to tell that to your traditional Christians and they're like, well, I don't know.
There is no alien life, but yeah, there is. God created all life. So.
Yeah,
if life came in from another planet and God created the universe,
right?
Putting 2 and 2 together.
Okay, well, it's a good fodder for stories.
It's a good fodder.
It looks like you've picked up on a bunch of those ideas for your stories, then, right?
Yeah.
But you do a lot of international intrigue too, right? You're kind of into that.
The Trihedral chaos is basically international terrorism.
Are you? What are you more comfortable writing? That type of realistic stuff, or maybe sci-fi? Or
I love sci-fi.
Yeah.
Sci-fi and murder mysteries. I love
murder mysteries as well, huh? Yeah, I like sci-fi a lot. It just you take the possibilities.
Yeah.
You see what's going on now.
Robert Heinlein. He was my best guy.
Really? Stranger in a Strange Land.
Stranger in a Strange Land. Did you read that?
I grok.
I got you grok because
I do grok. All right. I found somebody else. That's great. Yeah, I'll tell you what. That's the one story that I defy anybody to do a movie on. Stranger in a Strange Land. Think about that. I mean, if you ever have you ever read that?
I've actually yet to read it. So
okay. Well, it was one of those books when I was going to school that I had to read. I read Siddhartha as well, which is, I don't know, and The Lord of the Rings. So I went to the school in the 70s, okay, and everybody had to read these stories. And one of them was Stranger in a Strange Land by Robert Heinlein, which really had a great view on life and possessions. Basically, it depicts a guy who grew up on Mars. I mean, they had sent an expedition, everybody died but this kid, and he grew up with a totally different view on how life is by a totally different culture that doesn't look anything
Martian
like
culture.
him. Yeah. And then he comes back here, and it ends up where, oh my goodness, he owns everything. He's like a gazillionaire who has no idea about possessions or anything. So it really is a good story. Doesn't care about it, but he has all these ridiculous powers that they're not magical. That's just, what he can do with his brain, like what all people can do with their brain. But the thing about it, when you talk about great books like The Lord of the Rings, I mean, I don't think that The Lord of the Rings could have been done as a movie with justice until nowadays with this kind of technology and with that director specifically. That, and if you read the Lord of the Rings and all that, is a lot more in there than the movie, but the way he depicted it visually was just perfect as a movie, a standalone movie. But I would, going back to Robert Heinlein, and Stranger in a Strange Land, there's a lot of, this person's thinking this, and this is the way this person thinks. You can't really do that in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I would defy someone to try to put that into.
Yeah.
It would. I don't think it would translate.
No, not literally. That's for sure. No. Yeah. So, how many books have you written there, Mr. Ruffalo?
2 are published. One is an edit. That's 3. I've got those were self-published. I signed a contract with a legacy publisher, which is your normal publication type of thing. And that murder mystery is coming out. A murder mystery is coming out in January.
So there's a difference between putting out one of these.
That's a self-published book.
Self-published. Okay. That you can get these on ebook as well, right?
That's an ebook too, both on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Really? So when can we go into Barnes and Noble and find them there?
No, you can order. It's online with Barnes and Noble. Right. But if the hearing audience would like to go down to Barnes and Noble and order them, more people order them at Barnes and Noble, then they'll put them on the shelf.
There you go. That's an idea.
See?
All right. So you have a website that people can go to and take a look
my
at
website has all my books and links to Barnes and Noble. It's my name. It's www.frankaruffalo.com, RUFFOLO. And it has the links to Facebook and links to my Facebook page and links to the Amazon and Barnes and Noble pages.
So you got a new one coming out, you say?
Right. It's called Jack Stenhouse Mysteries, A Pair of Jacks.
Is it related to any of the books before? Or?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is murder mystery.
Oh, so this all completely new stories then?
All completely new stuff.
Are you planning on doing any sequels or anything interrelated?
I'm also currently writing a sequel to my murder mystery, which is called Blue Falcon.
Now, Blue Falcon is not yet published, or
no? I'm still writing it.
You're still writing.
I'm still writing it.
But you're writing that and the sequel.
I know. I'm writing that. I wrote the sequel to Gabriel's Chalice. I'm editing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing Blue Falcon, which is a sequel to my murder mystery, which hasn't been released yet. And I'm writing a sequel to the sequel, which is called Xantha Terra, which takes place on Mars.
Well, that's awesome. So let me see. As a writer, how often do you write?
Every day.
Okay, that's good. I've heard that. I'm a screenwriter. I've never written a book or a novel or anything like that. I just went straight to learning how to write screenplays, and I know that was a tough process, as well, because, you basically do it all alone, and, you really got to have a lot of discipline to get stuff done.
Yeah, and I'm semi-retired, so I haven't fully retired. I work part-time. So
you have time.
So I have time, but I still, every day, I've got to write something every day, or my head will explode.
That's great. Do you write on a computer or
on a computer,
pick
on my
up
laptop?
A pen? Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. I developed the thing where I would write down a bunch of ideas on on paper first.
I carry a little journal when I'm traveling or if I'm at work, and if something pops into my head, I'll write it so I don't forget it. But I always go back to the laptop. So,
in the beginning, you told me that you started because you had an idea for a movie.
Yeah, that was.
Do you have which one is that? Gabriel's Chalice?
Trihedral Chaos.
All right. Any of these books being considered as a movie? Or
well, like
anything?
I mentioned before, Gabriel's Chalice was brought to MIPCOM.
MIPCOM, what is that?
Which is it took place in Cannes, France, and it's the prequel to the Cannes Film Festival. Well, what it is all the producers and directors and the movers and shakers, they bring their material to MIPCOM. And this is where all the movie studios and all the people that want to see what's out there, so they can have an idea what they can pull
source
information from, source their material from. And I was lucky to meet someone who took my book there to MIPCOM, and there's a producer with it now. And he also went to, I think there was a film festival in Southern California this past week, and he's there too. So
the same producer,
same guy. So keep my fingers crossed. See what happens.
Yeah. So you should be hearing from him.
I should be hearing from him within a week or so.
So you ever thought about? Well, I guess if it ever came to it, you'd have to turn your book into a screenplay. Have you ever thought about doing that yourself?
Not
being a
me.
screenwriter?
I'm not a screenwriter. No. Somebody else is going to have to be unless you know somebody, and somebody I don't. I'm not going to be doing screenplay writing stuff.
Well, I do have a screenwriter group,
But
and that's all I do. But
okay.
I
I'll let you know if
Yeah.
because I think one of the producers says he's investigating, looking at maybe he's going to have it done through his people. So
yeah, that's probably
if
the
not,
best way to
I'll
do
let
it.
you know. But
Sure. Yeah, that's one thing I've never done was take somebody's novel and turn it into a screenplay.
well, I write a narrative, and a lot of people who have read my books, and even this producer read my book, said, this book reads like a screenplay.
Oh, really?
So
Okay. Well, that's helpful. I
it's very
suppose.
helpful. So
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope that
good luck.
somebody picks it up there.
Too. Me too.
Yeah. So, are we going to be seeing you at the next table meeting?
Sunday?
Yeah,
I'll
this
be there.
Sunday, right?
I'll be there.
Down at the what's it called?
84 Diner.
84 Diner, 2:00. Great meeting of
I'll be there.
actors,
I'll probably
producers.
get there early, have a little lunch, and me and my wife, and then we'll sit around for a while.
Andrew, have you ever been to a table meeting?
No, actually, I haven't.
You available Sunday, 2:00?
I got to see what time I get. I'm actually going to Orlando with her for the makeup convention.
Oh, there's a makeup convention, huh?
Yep.
Ooh, that
So
sounds
depending
cool.
on what, I'll try to make it though.
It is a great networking situation there. You meet a lot of, producers, a lot of actors. There's a lot of actors there.
That sounds great. You sit down and get some lunch, get to network, talk to everybody. I love those kinds of things.
Yeah, you actually have to stand up, introduce yourself, and sing a song.
Sing a song.
Frank, I think he chose something from Mary Poppins, wasn't it? You were saying
Mary Poppins.
Oh,
Yeah.
nobody wants to hear me sing.
Spoonful of sugar.
Sugar,
I think
yeah.
that's what he was singing. So you have to sing. No, you don't really have to sing, but you do have to. You have to stand up, introduce yourself, and what you're, what you can offer as well as because it's kind of like
if you got anything coming up, or if you got any special, if you're working on a project, you got any projects coming up, you can come up and say, hey, I got this project coming up, and I need so and so and such and such, and
Is that here in Hollywood or?
It's actually in Davie.
Davie on State
Okay,
Road
yeah,
84.
That's not far at all from where
Yeah.
we stay. So
84 Diner in Davie, it's State Road 84 and
Yeah.
Hiatus Road. Or
Yeah,
you'll definitely be seeing me at one of those soon for sure.
Good. Yeah. It's a great meeting. It really is. If you can't make this one, I'll just make sure that you got the invitation to the
well,
next
if you're on
one.
Facebook, it's Florida Hampton Table has a page,
Right.
and there's a calendar post that says every meeting, every month what the meetings are, where the
Okay,
meetings
yeah,
are.
fantastic.
But remember now, it's you have to be invited.
You have to be invited.
Right. So you're invited.
That's my
See that?
official invite right there. So
And all those people out there listening and want to go, you're not invited,
Invited, you
okay?
can't
Yeah. No, we could use all the good actors and producers are out there. I noticed one thing at these meetings, though. There's a lot more actors than producers and directors. So I'd like to try to get more people that are providing the work for the actors. There's a lot of the actors that come there, and they're looking to network, and they're looking to pick up some projects to get paid or to further their career. But us producers and writers are the ones that will be providing them that.
there's-
So
Like Greg said, there's not too many of the establishers there. There's a lot of people looking for work.
Wonder why that is. I'd be more than happy to help out with that because I know
Well-
a bunch of people who are in the same field as me, and
great.
yeah, we would love that.
As a matter of fact, I could talk to you about. I just had this is kind of in the formative stages. I might not even be able to. I'll say it. I'll tell you in secret, though. Okay, just between me and you. Okay,
Okay.
Don't let anybody else know. But my friend Vivian Orozco, very good director, producer, and writer.
I'm actually familiar with her.
Yeah, she approached me and Rose about starting another meeting of producers. People, producers, a Florida Producers Guild, actually. So we can get together. We can, try to see what's going on, in who's producing what, and see what we could help each other out, and maybe kind of set the standard and do some vetting as well, because really there's a lot of people can come in and say, hey, I'm a producer, and they got like a little Sony Handycam or something, and a lot of our actors will go, oh, great, another producer, and they'll go along with this person.
I see
and,
that
yeah.
way too much, but
A lot of
everyone's got to
time.
start somewhere. So
They do got to start somewhere, but there's, and you got to give them that opportunity to
What we
do
need to
that.
do is we need to kick Florida State in the butt and have them support the movie industry.
Yes, yes, and that didn't happen.
That hasn't
Unfortunately, with the, unfortunately that our re-elected governor doesn't seem very friendly towards the.
I sent him a couple of emails. He never answered my emails.
Really, that's unusual.
Isn't that unusual?
Yeah.
Not surprised by that
Not
one.
surprised by that at all.
But, I don't really think that whole thing is a conservative or a Republican or Democratic thing, because if you go, everybody's going up to Louisiana to do a lot of work, and they got a Republican governor up there. So
I just think it's the mindset of the state assembly. I don't know what's going on.
I
with the
think
state
anything
guys.
that would bring more business and more jobs around here, even if because we're
think?
a right to work state, we don't have to be union, so there's a lot of us that just look for opportunities all the time, and I think the more the better. So I think I'll be writing myself an email as well.
I mean, you had Burn Notice down here and Glades down here. I mean,
And,
it was
Rock of Ages, too.
It was a big booming place down here for a while.
yeah, well,
Were you?
In Rock of Ages, roller skating extra.
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, but we definitely need to try to steer our mindset of our legislators to help us out here. Florida is a beautiful place to do films. I mean, look outside right now, man. It's perfect weather. Beautiful place. A lot of great talent down here as well. So, I don't know. We'll try to, contact as many people we can, or try to shed a little bit of light on that whole.
Maybe that's why there's not a lot of producers and directors at the Florida table. They're out of state.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, Andrew, if you're interested in that, I'll let you know, because that is a new thing that we want to do. Get some producers together and talk about whatever it is we're doing down here to try to, elevate the presence of the film industry. Down here.
Most definitely interested in that.
All right. Well, Frank, thank you very much for coming and
Thank you for having me.
And we wish you best of luck with your
Best
books.
of luck to you.
Gabriel's Chalice.
And you can have
Trihedral
those.
Cast. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. All right, so I guess I'll see you at the table meeting, right?
I'll be at the table meeting.
All right, we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to come back and talk to Andrew Colton, and we'll take a little bit of break on SoFloRadio.com.
Why bother listening to those other douchebags while we've got everything you need right here? SoFloRadio.com. Radio you've missed. By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com. Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
Since you went away, I'm lost. Say you're here to stay. I can bear nothing less. You're just an ocean away, but I can't swim that far. Your courage, strength, and bravery keep me sane. You're just an ocean away. I keep telling myself, say you're here to stay. My tears have become my friends, wishing you were here with me. You're just an ocean away. In my mind, say you're here to stay. You're just so far away, so lost. You're just an ocean away, but I can't swim that far. You've always fought hard for me, and now for our country. How proud you make our family. I'm torn. Say you're here to stay. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
All right. That was Queen Dementia. Good friends of mine, and I was really happy to be able to premiere that video there along with Andrew Colton at our Cinemusique event.
One of my favorite venues, Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, it was awesome, really. Which, of course, the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival is going on right now. Everybody listening, just check it out. There's always some awesome, great films going on until, well, I don't know, it's another couple of weeks or so. This is like, that the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival is actually in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest running film festival in the world.
And that makes me very glad to hear, because if it would lasted all year long, I'd be completely fine with that.
Yeah. Lots of good films, a lot of good local, introductions, and a lot of good people do a lot of good stuff on there. So anyway,
There we go.
Andrew Colton, welcome to Rick's Show on the Radio. And I see you brought your lovely friend. This is Brandy Henderson?
Yes.
How are you, Brandy?
Hello. How are you?
Good. Can we see everybody out there? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see
Oh.
Brandy for sure.
Got to make sure these mics are set up properly.
Yeah, you want to see Brandy. She's very pretty.
Oh.
She has pretty red hair, by the way.
It used to be brighter.
It's very,
Really?
very
Yeah,
red.
it was even brighter a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was funny because, our author, Frank Ruffalo, he's still here. He was asking me about dyeing his hair that color, too, a little later on. So maybe we could talk about that.
I think she might have some extra in the car if he's serious about it.
Oh, yeah, just the beard. Yeah, that would be
Just
cool.
a beard. All right.
Speaking
let's
of
do it.
him, though, I was just telling him I have to make sure I go read that Gabriel's Chalice before the second one comes in, because when he was describing the storyline of that book, I was like, oh, man, it's something I definitely would be into. So
Yeah.
gotta
You
make
like
sure I get
sci-fi,
that.
too, huh?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah,
I
me too.
forced him to watch all the marathons of Ancient Aliens. Anything
Really?
aliens, yes.
Oh, I like this girl.
Yeah, that's her thing.
Yeah.
I'm more like, when it comes to sci-fi, I think of like Fifth Element.
Yeah,
And
like
like,
that.
I love the movies. That's it's
Yeah,
fantastic
multi-pass.
movie. Leela Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So cool. Ancient Aliens, I'm watching that all the time. Although I think it's kind of funny when a guy goes and does some references about some weird theory, and he says, as ancient alien proponents believe, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they believe that. Yeah, sure.
Are you talking about the guy with the crazy hair? The
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
brown hair guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yeah,
he's
he is.
hilarious.
He's a character.
He has his own show now.
He does? Of course he does. Why
Of
not?
course he does.
I'd fund that show. I'm sure it'll do
I
great.
would too, yeah, just for the hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No, it's like no matter what the subject is, the answer is always aliens.
Yeah, it's always that. Yeah. Why not? Why isn't it aliens? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why when I was saying before, when I got a chance to go out to Tulum to film those temples, it was just wow. Like, you see it on the show and you're like, oh, that's really cool looking, but you can't really appreciate it until you're standing there and you see how massive these areas actually are.
No, that's
and,
South
and the craftsmanship in it.
Central America. Is that where that?
Mexico.
Oh, in Mexico.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I'll bet you that has a real feel to it. I mean,
You gotta walk pretty far to get to it as
Really?
well. Yeah.
yeah. Now there's some real history there. But anyway, Andrew, that video that we just saw there with our friends in Queen Dementia, a very good job on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you worked with the drummer Hav and his buddies. They're a bunch of paramilitary organization, right? Is that, would you can categorize that?
Yes, they're called the Sheepdogs, and they train and they compete in these competitions of it's very military style, clearing out buildings and stuff like that. Very very serious guys, but also really humble and awesome guys too.
Yeah, they were there at the Cinemusique event there. All nice guys.
I'm glad they all came and showed out and showed the support.
Yeah,
they pretty much just wanted to see themselves on camera though.
Yeah,
on the big screen.
Yeah, that's the thing about guys like that are the quiet heroes and are amongst us. The ones that are willing to do the work that we can only maybe write about or watch movies about. But these guys, they will do that stuff. And when they do it, they don't like, oh, hey, look at me doing this. It's always just very humble about it. I really appreciate that mannerism.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, so you work with Joseph Villain, who's a guitar player, and Alana's husband in Queen Dementia, Alana Villain, who's a singer. Then he was in the video as well. Then he had a bunch of backpacks on and did some training on that video. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, that's actually my favorite metal couple, as I like to say.
Yeah.
It's a power couple, metal couple.
They are a power couple.
Power metal couple.
Mhm.
He went out there to train with everybody, and because Hav is actually in the Sheepdogs, and he trains with them side by side all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to make sure Joe, being the main character, the main focus of that video, next to Alana, that it would look realistic as him being a military man.
Yeah.
With no training. So we wanted to make sure he actually went out there a bunch of times and actually trained alongside of them on these 6 a.m. on these blazing hot days. And he wanted me to come out and not happening.
Share
I was
the
like,
suffering
no.
with
I was
you?
like, I'm gonna have to do that when I film it.
Yeah,
but I'm not
yeah.
gonna.
You go for it, Joseph.
I'll just stand back and appreciate it greatly.
all the
So,
work that you put
yeah.
into it. Yeah, that's great.
But they did a great job. We were all very impressed that he was able to take in that much information. I mean, they were very specific on how they wanted it to be. If a real military troop somewhere was watching it, they wanted to make sure that they wouldn't call shenanigans on it. That all the mannerisms,
Right.
the way that you would pull your rifle, hold your rifle, or pull out a pistol would be absolutely correct. Mm-hmm. So he took in a lot of information in a short period of time, and really proud of his acting abilities on that one.
Yeah, speaking of his acting abilities, him and Alana's, I was very happy to work with both of them on our transmedia production Theater of Vampires, where Alana played Vampira. We gave her a whole bunch of dialogue, and boy, she just hit it out of the park. And Joseph as well, because we when we went to do that project, we thought of Alana as Vampira, and we had another character, Louis, from the with Lestat's friend, Interview with the Vampire, and we didn't really have anybody in mind, and it was just kind of obvious. What about Joseph? I mean, I don't know what kind of acting ability he has, but he's quiet. He's a good-looking guy with long hair and serious tone about him in real life. And we think of that character Louis, Brad Pitt's character, and basically that was Joseph. So it worked out pretty well, and he did an awesome job as well.
No, I have to appreciate the musicians who have no problem being on the stage, constantly performing for their fans. Mm-hmm. So I had no doubt in my mind that they would just completely knock that out of the park.
That's great. We didn't either when we first, cast everybody, because, we're like, okay, we're casting a whole bunch of musicians to be actors. And, I kind of knew in my heart that they could pull it off. But, at the same time, I have a date coming up here that I had to, really bring it home. And it's like, I'm really asking a lot of my friends here, but they did a great job, both Joseph and Alana.
Yeah, when she sent me the picture of her character, I was like, that's perfect for you.
Yeah.
You fit the character.
Yeah, she became that. And her mother showed up, too. And I think it was a really nice moment to have.
Yeah, I like watching artists get to show their talent in a bunch of different mediums throughout their career, and just watch them do a bunch of different creative stuff, because it just shows it's not just music, it's not just stage, it's just performing, being a performer. And I always appreciated that. Yeah.
And
I'm more of a behind the camera type person.
Me too, definitely. Although I'm a musician and I played bass guitar, that's almost a behind the band kind of thing. Almost bass players, but I know what you mean. But it's great as a filmmaker now to provide those opportunities for people like that, and go, hey, you want to try this out? And it's like, okay, yeah. So now I can act now. It's great. Yeah. So you've worked with Queen Dementia in a few projects then, right?
They are actually my favorite band to work with. Mm-hmm. It's just always, whenever I work with them, it's always a very easygoing process, a lot of smiles, a lot of laughing. We just kind of get in a room, and Lana, she really knows what she wants, and I appreciate that when it comes to musicians, because a lot of times I got people coming in like, oh, I have no idea what I want, but I want it to be amazing. And it's always like,
yeah, right. Okay.
All right. Well, got you covered.
Yeah, it's great.
But no, I love working with them. So yeah, it's our third video now.
Really? Third video?
Yeah.
What are the other two?
Condemned and The Aftermath.
We can find those on Queen Dementia's website, right?
On their website or on YouTube.
So tell me a little bit about your career here as a filmmaker. When did you start? And you do a lot of music videos, or what is it that you?
It's actually it started I feel like Star Wars here, in a long time ago.
Okay.
No, I really started with skateboarding. I was actually huge into skateboarding, and
yourself?
I skateboarded myself, cool. And I would have my father's massive camcorder. We stick a VHS tape in the side of it.
Oh yeah, big.
I was so scared of dropping that thing because it would have shattered. But
pretty fragile. A lot of moving parts.
Well, the thing is, throughout the 90s, going into the 2000s, is the skateboard videos got more and more popular, and the people making them got more and more creative, and it got to a point where some of these skateboard videos were just pieces of art. I mean, they really were. They were just like, the cinematography in it just got better and better, mostly due to smaller cameras. But right. I mean, it got to a point where I was like, wow, I'm putting together these little videos, but they could be so much more. So I really started focusing on what I can do and how to make it better. And then eventually, you know, down the road, switching to music videos was just kind of a natural progression for me, because skateboarding is music and action.
Right.
So it was kind of a natural progression from that.
So you've done music videos for other bands as well?
I have actually directed over 50 videos, over 50 music videos.
Wow.
It's getting a little ridiculous, actually.
Well, so you're the go-to guy for that then.
I try to be. There's a lot of competition down here, a lot of very talented people.
That's true.
I gotta stay humble to that constantly. But no, I've gotten the pleasure of working with a very wide variety of genres, from Christian rap all the way to the metal and some easy rock. Actually, I was telling you before, this Monday, I'm working with an opera singer for the very first time.
Wow.
That should be very interesting, and I'm actually looking forward to doing something new and different.
Yeah.
And, it's exciting.
Good genre, a new genre.
Oh yeah.
So you're doing a music video for this person, huh?
It's more of a promotional piece.
Oh,
it's gonna be an interview, and then show some of the music, and we're gonna be filming it as if we were filming a music video.
Oh.
Amazing building called the Cruise Building in Miami. It's got a really old look to it, like a very old European feel to it.
I've seen it, actually.
And
A friend of ours,
yeah.
my friend Josepher, Ringleader, brought me down there one day and said, oh, man, we got to do something in there.
Yeah,
so you're going to do that on Monday, huh?
This artist, Warren Tesh, I mean, he is absolutely incredible. When he was standing there and we were trying to hear the acoustics in the building, he just started singing his opera music. And me and the woman that I was standing next to, the woman who runs the facility, had to double take to see if he was actually singing that or if it was coming out of a
speaker
somewhere.
Wow.
It was just phenomenal. So I'm looking forward to that like crazy.
That's awesome. Now, what kind of equipment are you using to shoot your videos these days? What do you prefer?
It varies, but I'm definitely a huge proponent of the whole DSLR generation, so to speak.
Sure.
I mean, it would be nice to work with the big, expensive red cameras as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's a lens, isn't it? You know,
it's a lot of things. I would definitely say these new cameras, like the red cameras and the Epics and the Dragons, are just the things they can do are absolutely incredible. But I'm also a big fan of, it's not always the camera. It's the cinematographer. It's the director. It's the people who have the vision themselves. Mm-hmm. So I mostly stick to like a Canon 5D, just very small and versatile. I can put it around my neck and kind of get into where I need to be very easily.
Sure.
and just kind of, the lenses, you can just kind of swap them in and out very quickly. It's not a process.
Right.
When you setting up everything in this big package of a camera, I can just kind of get in and get what I need. Mm-hmm. So I'm mostly a Canon man.
Yeah, I'm learning that myself, and I'm starting with the 70D now.
Okay.
That should be a good one. We were talking a little bit about lighting because, I like to think about when you're setting up a scene, lighting is very important, especially with a music video, especially with an artistic, application towards a music video or anything. So what are your thoughts on that? Are you a big guy? Are you into lighting placement, or do you let somebody else do that?
Oh, I prefer to do it myself, actually. That's actually probably one of my favorite parts of it, is being able to design the look of what you're going for. You have an image in your head, and you want to make sure that what you show to people is as close to that as possible. And the only way that's achieved is through the lighting that you originally saw. So it's kind of like when you look at a painting and you see how the person's lit and you try to recreate it on the spot. That's kind of what I do all the time, because I see it in my head and I have to kind of move things around until I get there.
Right.
But
so you do a lot of experimenting with that?
Oh yeah, I try to. I mean, sometimes a lot of videos they want it very clean cut,
right?
Stuff like that. But when I get the okay go to the creative control, I definitely just go nuts with it.
Take your time.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Just try new and different things, because hey, if it doesn't work out, you can always put it back.
I guess so.
Yeah. One thing we were talking about earlier is the short film Out of Bloom.
Right. I was going to get to that there, because I know you do a lot of music videos, and I wanted to find out if you did anything like shorts films, or are you a writer as well?
I am not. I wouldn't consider myself a writer by any means. I've gotten the ability to work with some very talented writers, such as like Jonathan Vanazza.
Yeah, I work with Jonathan. Yeah, he's a great
multi-time
guy.
award-winning filmmaker.
Yeah.
He's just an incredible writer.
That's funny. I didn't know that you knew him. He's a friend of mine.
We won the Miami 48-hour film festival.
Yeah, I know
together.
you did. Yeah, that's great.
So him being the writer and just taking that stress and that burden off of the production itself, because we know that end is covered. I can really as a cinematographer go in there and focus on the overall look of it and the lighting and the things that I'm there to do. So I prefer to work with writers, but sometimes I just have like something on my mind I just want to kind of get off my chest, and I'll just go. I wouldn't really call it writing. I would just call it
conceptualizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I build you as director because it's what you do with all your music videos. Pretty much is direct them as well. But do you consider yourself a director or more of a cinematographer or what?
I don't know if there's really a term for what I do. I guess I would just call myself a one-man band.
Okay.
I've kind of always been that way.
So then what do you like doing better?
I enjoy the cinematography aspect of it the most. Sitting there and just kind of making sure I get the look that I want and the angles that I want is my favorite part of it. But I find myself directing almost everything that I do. Mm-hmm. So
now getting to your short film Out of Bloom here, is this like this is your original concept, right?
Yeah, it was my concept, but there's a friend of mine, Antonio Angelo, who's an extremely talented photographer, and what we like to do sometimes is we like to, he'll plan a photo shoot and he'll ask me to come in and somehow take it and turn it into a short film. So he showed me a location that had a lot of depth to it, and he showed me this model he wanted to work with, and I kind of thought about it over the weekend, and I came back at him with this idea of what I kind of saw in my head, which was a little dark, but it wasn't intended to really be that way.
Well, I watched the film, and it is very thought-provoking and very beautiful. The actress, what's her name again?
Christina Chakrapour?
Chakrapour, right.
I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Right. I was noticing that her costume that she wore was quite original and very beautiful, as a matter of fact. So, and you said that Brandy here designed that, right? Brandy?
Yes. That's actually made out of leaves.
Really?
Yeah, I made Andrew walk around the neighborhood with me late at night and pick up dead leaves.
How about it?
Yeah. But yeah, we just got a bunch of leaves and then spray painted them gold. And then just from where I'm used to either designing clothes and costumes and, I body paint as well.
Wow.
But we just applied them to her the next day. She was cool about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think she realized she was going to be topless initially. And I was like, hey, this is the idea. And she was really cool. She was easy to work with.
All right. Then you just entered that into a film contest? Is that what it is? Or?
We originally it started off with just I wanted to do a passion project. I felt like I had been doing a lot of corporate videos lately. I had just around that time worked with a kind of an affiliate group, and we were doing a lot of corporate stuff, and I just kind of wanted to do something more
break away,
do something creative for the weekend.
Well, that looks totally opposite from corporate video.
Oh yes. And actually, funny story about her creating the outfit is I'm gonna have to live with that decision forever, because I still have about a couple pounds of glitter in my back seat from that costume, and when the bottle broke open. That stuff just never goes away. So I was really impressed with what she did, though, for most definitely.
What you don't see is all the millions of spiders that were in the video, because we were filming in the park and there's massive banana spiders the size of your hand.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
And they were like inches from our heads, and that's like, I can't handle spiders.
I just had to tell them to not look up constantly.
Yeah, they're big and scary looking.
Oh yeah, I was terrified the entire shoot.
She was.
Yeah, they don't bite. I think.
Yeah, they do.
They do? No, well, that's not what I kept telling her.
No, I was like, no.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's good to know now.
Oh, you definitely don't tell your actress that. I'll tell you that when you're out there. No, I actually did know that.
That's nice.
Well, at least they're not poisonous.
Thank you for
They're
that.
poisonous, but they won't kill you.
Yeah.
Make your hands swell up. Or,
and fall off.
Oh, I'm glad they were
dissolve.
like inches from her head.
Yeah. It hurts really bad, but nothing happened, so
Be
you're
a
okay.
dangerous job sometimes.
Yeah.
No, it was called like what, Bird Park? I was like, no wonder
it's,
it's called Bird
Birch.
Park. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't
Should be-
know. They're like
oh,
the size of
birch.
your hand. I'm like, they eat the birds.
Should be Spider Park.
It really should.
Really?
Should probably hit that video.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, let's watch that. I'll be talking about it a lot here. So let's watch
This
your
is actually
video.
the official release right here.
Official release right here on Rick's Show on the Radio on SoFloRadio.com. This is Out of Bloom. Well, that was quite beautiful and thought-provoking. And that quote, tell us a little bit about that quote there, if we didn't get a chance to read it.
You know, I like to read quotes a lot, just because I draw a lot of inspiration from them.
Mm-hmm.
And quotes like that are actually what make me make films like that.
Yeah, sure.
Because like I read them a lot online when I'm sitting around, and it makes me think. You know, it makes those thought-provoking juices come out and say, you know, I kind of get what they were saying. Maybe I see it a little differently, but let me show people how I perceive that.
Sure. Why not?
So
from the eye of the cinematographer there, you know, we get some really good insights on what's in your mind and a good interpretation of something like that quote.
Yeah.
Good job on that video, and I wish you luck.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Are you going to premiere it anywhere other than Rick's Show on the Radio? Or what's your thoughts?
I'm going to have to figure something out with that.
I might help you out with that.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes, I have some ideas. Some friends of mine want to put some short films together.
It's kind of short, so it can't be a headliner.
No, it has to be amongst other shorts.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'll let you know. We're going to do something like that.
Yeah, most definitely.
And beautiful job on the costume.
Thank
and
you.
the makeup.
Thank
Very good
you.
job, man. You guys really nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
a lot of that came down to the perfect lighting and the time of day. We really had to. We showed up early in the morning and started filming, and then just the way the sun was reacting, it just wasn't how I wanted it. So I had told everybody on set, I was like, you know, I hate to be a stickler here, but it's not coming out the way that I see it.
Right.
So we're gonna have to take about a 5-hour break.
5 hours.
We
Rachel
shocked
does.
a lot of people at BurgerFi.
Yeah. So
Really?
we
Yeah,
walked
we're
into
like, we're
BurgerFi
hungry.
with that model in full outfit.
Yeah.
And we had to just wait and then come back when the sun kind of went down a little bit and just got that perfect look.
Good.
That's why it has such a very soft cinematic look to it. It's all about patience.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate that. And when we see these works that are really thought of, and we appreciate the fact that we can watch those. Anyway, thank you very much, Andrew Colton.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being on Rick's Show. And Brandy, nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Frank Ruffalo, everybody. Go to get his books and on his website, Frank A. Ruffalo. And we'll see you next week on SoFloRadio.com.